My hair is out of control today, but what else is new? Hello there! Welcome back to Max's Writer's Life Vlogs, where I talk about my own process, what I've been working on, as well as offering writing advice, inspiration, and resources for writers along the way. Today we're going to be talking about one said resource. I may or may not have released a brand new writing playlist, but I'm not only going to be talking about that, I'm going to talk about something else that you may be interested on, as well as my personal update, so let's dive right in. This particular week was really busy for me because it was a release week. Release weeks are always super hectic. What did I release, you ask? The Roguish Principle, a new fantasy story by yours truly. The first arc of it went up to my patrons, and it began going up on a chapter-by-chapter basis last Saturday. Every Saturday around 1 p.m. I'm going to be uploading a new chapter. If you would like to check out this story, there should be a link through in the description down below, or you can just go give me a follow over at wattpad.com/mkirin. But yeah, that's all business. That got done. Finally, I released that. Release weeks are always super hectic, and the worst part is that I allocate enough time to get things done, and something comes up, and something happens, and then now you have to spend extra time working on things. But that's life. That's how things go. That's par for the course, if you may. What else have I been doing? Well, I have also been writing. I did a bunch of writing on the last couple of days, and I've been focusing on this other smallish project that should also be coming to Wattpad relatively soon. It's a story that I can't talk about yet. If you know me personally, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's gonna be a bit of a strange story, a first for myself and the channel, but it'll be fun, and when it's ready to be shared, you will be the first to know. It will also go up on Wattpad, as I said, so you can just give me a follow there, and you will be notified the instant this new story goes. So yeah, that was it for me. Release week, released a new book, and also I spent it writing. It was nice to finally be back into the writing mood. And as I've said many times in the past, one of the main tools that has helped me write like I do, or at least get into the writing mood, has been music. Music is one of the most important parts of my creative writing toolbox, and this week I'm going to be talking about that particular resource, writing music, and the new writing playlist that I have up on 8tracks. If you don't know, and it's entirely likely that you don't because I haven't put up a playlist in a while, though that is about to change, 8tracks.com/mkirin is the website where I've been putting up playlists, like handcrafted playlists for particular moods or feelings, and today I have released a brand new playlist called Writing and Deep Thinking. I wanted to go back to the basics, because I did a bunch of really strange playlists and very specific ones, you know, like writing about love, writing about horror, writing about fighting. Those are nice, but I wanted to get back to the main core, the main feeling. Simply writing. A study, writing, brainstorming, meditation playlist, writing and deep thinking. If you would like to go check out this playlist, it's available on 8tracks.com/mkirin, and link in the description below, by the way, and there should also be a link to a YouTube playlist. I generally don't put those playlists up on YouTube because there are tracks that just don't exist, because I have a bunch of really obscure video game soundtracks, but there's a playlist down there, so a bunch of the tracks are missing because they just don't exist on YouTube. So if you would like to see the YouTube playlist, go check it out. I will also have a link to the Tumblr post so you can see all of the tracks in their entirety. But yeah, what are the contents of writing and deep thinking? Well, as I mentioned, I wanted to get back to the basics, creating a playlist that had a bunch of unobtrusive, almost relaxing tracks. I realized that I had something good in my hands when I made that playlist and I was listening to it while doing work and doing brainstorming. It was nice. I'm really proud of that playlist. I did a bunch of fine-tuning. There were originally like 30 different tracks, and I ended up shaving away the ones that they were good, but they didn't fit the theme, and the final tracks, which I think should be like 15 different tracks, it's about 1 hour of music, and it's just, I'm really proud of it. I really like it, and I hope that you give it a spin. But now, you can go check out that playlist. It's brand new. There's a bunch of other playlists by yours truly. Some of those playlists are actually like really popular, so maybe they're good. I don't know. I'm kind of biased because I made them. Now, real talk there. This would be a really bare bones video if I just gave an announcement and just dropped it there. No. That's not how this is gonna work. I wanted to showcase. Take a moment. I haven't done a video on writing music in forever, because I know that I say this, but people don't believe me. Like, music is really important to me, and I'm always listening to music when I'm writing, and I love sharing tracks with people and albums with people because it showcases albums that you may have never stumbled upon. I find so many albums and like things just by pure happenstance, and those are the happy mistakes of life, where you find something that you love that you wouldn't have found otherwise. So I wanna relay that experience with you by showcasing 3 different albums that I've been listening / writing to recently. And of course, you may get a feeling for what I have been writing considering the following albums. Most of these are free, if not pay what you want, so you can go and give them a download right now. The first album that I've been listening to non-stop ever since it came out like half a week ago is the VA11 Hull A soundtrack. Now, for those of you who don't know, VA11 Hull A, or Valhalla, is a dating sim / bartender game set in a cyberpunk future. It's kind of like right up my alley, it's amazing, and the soundtrack is just delightful. Let's listen to one of my favorite tracks, Safe Haven. Now, you may know me, you may know what I like to write and how I go about doing things, but I freaking adore cyberpunk, and this soundtrack is just dripping with it. It's just delicious. This soundtrack, this entire soundtrack is like 48 tracks, and it's pay what you want on Bandcamp. It's amazing. If you happen to be writing a story maybe set in a dystopian world, or cyberpunk, or in the far future, I absolutely recommend you go check out the Valhalla soundtrack. It's pay what you want with no minimum. Go give it a download. It's absolutely worth your while. Now, following up on the cyberpunk note, or futuristic / dystopian, there's an album that is not new at all. It came out like a year ago, but I've been listening to it a little bit more. Just a couple of tracks, but I really do love it, and it's called Dreams of Outer Heaven. The Encounter remixed a bunch of tracks from the original Metal Gear games and bundled them together into this album, Dreams of Outer Heaven, and they are really effective. And maybe they have a little bit less of an impact if you don't know the original tracks, but man, some of these are just really good. Let's listen to Nightfall. I know that these recommendations are really heavy on cyberpunk / dystopian / futuristic, but man, this is some really good music. Now, because I feel like there's something I need to clarify really quickly. When I'm looking for music to write to, I'm looking for particularly 2 things. Does it carry an emotion with it? These tracks in this soundtrack carry some feelings to them that you can sense in the way that the music was created or weaved in together. And secondly, is it unobtrusive? If you listen to this track a couple of times, are you able to let it be part of the background as opposed to part of the foreground? Is it going to distract you while you're writing? And I can say that the Valhalla soundtrack and Dreams of Outer Heaven are both unobtrusive. Dreams of Outer Heaven may be a little bit more if you don't know the original tracks from Metal Gear, but otherwise I recommend both of those for cyberpunk goodness. Now, for my final recommendation of the day, this is a little bit out there. This is a little bit more, I don't want to say random, but I've been listening to this to hype myself up for work and also just for getting up in the mornings. And it is the new OCRemix album, Apex 2016, I Got Next. If you don't know, OCRemix.org is a wonderful website filled with passionate people who are making remixes of your favorite video game tracks. Now, every year, OCRemix gathers together a bunch of really awesome people and they create an album based on competitive games, Apex. And this year's album is just so delightful. The title song, Apex, is just amazing. It's the sort of song like, it has lyrics to it, yes, it's not a writing track, but man, that's an inspirational track. All the tracks are like really excited, like up in your face, let's go and fight. And it's just, they may not be the best tracks for writing, I will admit myself, but man, are they just like hyped. Get hyped to do some work today, or some writing, or just to do whatever you need to do. Now, don't believe me? Let's listen to one of my favorite tracks from this album, Incognito. I know that I go on and on about this, but music is really important to me, and I hope that these recommendations, which by the way, the links for all of them can be found in the links in the description down below, go give them a download. The OCRemix one is free, and the other two are pay what you want with no minimum, so there's no reason for you to not go check them out. Now, with that being said though, I want to turn the mic in your direction. What have you been doing this week? What have you been writing to? Maybe not new albums, but what are some albums or musical tracks that you have been listening to recently? I am always looking for recommendations. Now this is gonna sound a little bit nerdy. What makes being nerdy? That's impossible. But I love when people give me musical recommendations. Like, seriously, like, I follow a bunch of people and sometimes they tweet at me and I'm like, yeah, Max, I'm listening to this on Spotify, and they're like, yo, Max, check this out, and I check it out and I'm like, I am gonna buy all of these albums because I need them. I need this music with me. So I'm always out on the lookout for new tracks to write to. So hey, if you happen to be writing to anything and you would like to just yell at me, Max, check out this album, it's worth your time, then go on ahead and let me know in the comments down below. And of course, as always, if you have any thoughts for future subjects you would like me to tackle in one of these videos, let me know as well. But that's about it for today's episode. It was a little bit of a strange one, but mostly because I wanted to talk about these things, because real talk, I've been listening to the Valhalla or VA11 Hall A soundtrack non-stop, and that's a good soundtrack. Like, I'm getting the same feelings about that soundtrack than I did when I first stumbled upon the Read Only Memory soundtrack, and oh, that soundtrack is good, but VA11 Hall A is starting to win me over, and it pains me because Distant Scenery from from Read Only Memories. Distant Scenery is the greatest, probably one of the greatest tracks of all time. Right up there with Shala's theme from Chrono Trigger, and I'm saying that without freaking hesitation. But anyways, I'm starting to geek out, nerd out about musical tracks, which is something that I've already done for, how long was that? 17 minutes! Yeah, for the time being. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me, and I'll see you on the next one.